What's up, everybody? We are going live here for the box blueprint. Excited to break this one down for you today. I kind of feel like I'm getting my bearings with this a little bit more, which is really exciting because live streaming is really tough if you didn't know that. So, anyone who's jumping in, thanks so much. We're going to start announcing these a little bit more and giving some lead up to them. But we're really just trying to provide some education around box lacrosse and help everybody move their game forward. I think I was talking with one of my athletes this morning. I had a training session and I was just kind of reliving my past. And, I have such a huge passion for the game of lacrosse. And it's probably because I grew up in San Jose, California, where there wasn't much lacrosse. I started playing in the 2000s, so YouTube wasn't really around. Most of the college games were not being aired on ESPN or any of the other networks at that time. There wasn't streaming really going on. So, I kind of grew up at what it felt like in this little pocket, this little island of San Jose, California. And it just never, I never really got enough. And I think that's probably what created this desire to stay around this game and continue to teach it because I really love it. And I got so much out of it. Have you watched Ganawaki Hunters? Yes, I've actually played against them. I think they're out of like the Turtle Dome, right? Do they play out of the Turtle Dome? But I played on the Clarington Green Gales in Ontario, and I'm pretty sure we played them. I think there was a guy named like 2X. He was like 6'8" on that squad when we played him, if I remember correctly. So yes, I have been up there in that area. Tons of respect for the Native Americans and just for sharing their game with the world the way they have. It's, if anybody knows anything about Native American culture and how deeply it's tied to lacrosse, it's truly something special and something that I think more lacrosse players and coaches should be talking about, because when you watch Native Americans play this game, you see a whole nother level of skill. And it's due to their culture and this game being a part of their roots. And it's something that I want to talk about more, but honestly, I don't have tons of experience on it. So hopefully we can get some Native Americans on to talk about their version of the game more and why they find it so special. But we're going to talk today about a very basic concept that I see so many players struggle with as they come into the box. It's actually kind of amazing when we break this concept down of how many athletes I see struggle with it. And so we're going to jump right into this, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. And then we're going to kind of break a clip down. Then we're going to go through a couple more clips and to kind of facilitate this. And I'm going to show you a little way to train it. So with that being said, we're going to pop over and we're going to let this roll. So we're going to watch our righty shooter come off here and just do this simple little move and then set his feet and shoot it. And in field lacrosse, you cannot set your feet here and shoot on a kind of a sweeping motion like this, but in box you can. And I have to tell you, the amount of Americans that I've introduced to this game, and I've told them to run to a spot on the floor and then stop their feet and shoot it. It's like it's the craziest concept for me to understand. Like, you have run, stop, pop, and shoot. And for most Canadians, this seems so simple. This is kind of a basic part of the game. We do so many shooting drills where, I say I'm American, but, do a lot of shooting drills, and we get to practice a lot of these shots. And then, as a beginner field lacrosse player, you see stuff like this where kids like run at the net and stop their feet, and field coaches all the time tell them, keep running. So then Americans naturally learn to, keep running through these shots. And you notice, I think this is Kyle Buchanan. He doesn't really have anywhere else to run. That's going to kind of run him out of angle. Eventually, he's going to run onto his wrong side. He's going to run behind this player on the backside. So this is a really big concept that we need to work on as players entering the box. Now, let's briefly look at how this play was created, because it's such a good little concept. It's such a good move that he made. So right here in this position, we call this the half boards position. And so when you're at that half boards position, you're responsible for starting the offense. So when the beautiful part about lining up here is you give, oh gosh, where did that go? You give yourself the ability to drive both over the top and underneath, right? So you can go right, you can go left. The way the defense has to play you, they kind of have to funnel you up over the top. And so if you notice, when Buchanan enters this dodge, he drags his man down a little bit, then takes this hard jab, getting the defender to open his stance up, and that allows Frazier to come back and set this pick. Now, if Buchanan's doing a good job of getting to the middle, but the defender, you can see, is playing it pretty well until he gets picked off about right here. If Frazier doesn't set this pick, it's going to be pretty hard for Buchanan to turn the corner and actually set his feet. So props to Frazier there for giving him a beautiful pick there. Defense was almost able to defend that. If I'm watching this as a defender, you know, I think this backside, the off-ball defender is playing this pretty well. He's in a position to help. He kind of ends up sloughing off and going back to Frazier, because if he slides up the floor in this position, they're just going to dump it down to Frazier, and then he's going to have a shot on the doorstep. And you can see as this goalie is moving up to set, if that pass were to go down to Frazier in the bottom right-hand corner, that goalie would have to crash that short side post so hard, and it would be a really hard play for that goalie to make. We'd rather see that shot and let that goalie try to make that save straight up. So that's kind of the premise of this stop and pop shooting that we're working on. The stop and pop shot is one of those shots that you're going to carry into space, and you're going to recognize that you have room to stop and let it go. And when you stop, you should be more accurate. Your feet are set, planted into the turf. You're going to shift your weight appropriately, and it's going to allow you to really practice those mechanics of driving and getting to the net. You notice that's a pretty fundamental release. I mean, yeah, you could say he's shooting at sidearm, but this guy's a pro. He's a big dog. Let the big dog eat. Just turn the corner and rip it, right? So the next scenario that we find ourselves in when we're working on, and I see so many kids missing opportunities, is when you're in transition. So this next clip, okay, you'll see it play out. Let me get down to my screen here. A lot of moving parts. We can cancel. Just get out of here. Okay. So this next one, it's kind of a short clip. You can see this player just drives in and stops his feet and shoots it. And this is great for transition lacrosse, because when you can notice, I think this is the Lakers, Peterborough Lakers Junior A team, as this offensive player is dropping into space, the Lakers defender has to drop in because he doesn't want to play from too far out. So the offensive player realizes he gets to a range that he likes, and he uses the defender as a screen and just puts it to the far side post right off the goalie's leg, right? Great play to make. And this is something that I see so many players. You could just pull up and shoot, right? Especially if you have a good outside shot and you're coming into the box for the first time, let it go, right? It's okay in transition to shoot that shot. Okay, we have players crashing the net on the backside. You can see 24 here. He's available to go get a rebound. Look at the route that 43 is taking. If 66 misses this shot wide to the net, 43 is in position to run straight out to the back corner of the boards there and go collect any loose balls that might pop off. So this is a great play to make, and this is something that I would really like to see more players understanding and seeing in transition. Now, let me go to another one and show you what this looks like in the settled offense as we run hard to the net and then pull up. Now, this is Josh Byrne. He's an incredible player, And what you'll notice is he's in this top corner here, this top right corner. He's a lefty, and he's just going to catch this ball and get a ton of speed. He's going to get a great up pick from this back left, lower left defender. And when he drives, I'll just play this out for you guys. He's just going to pull up. His hands are free. He uses the defender as a screen and just blasts it past the goalie. Okay. This is such an excellent play for box players to make. When you have space, you take space. You set your feet and you let the ball fly, right? I can't stress this enough. Now, that's when we're running straight at the net. We've kind of gone over curling above, over the top. And then the last thing that we want to focus on is going underneath, right? So what that looks like is this play right here. This is Joey Spallina. This is from, I think, 2 seasons ago. He's just going to drag his man underneath and open up and shoot. Now, for anybody who's taken a shot like this is extremely athletic and very difficult to place. Well, I want you to look at his feet here for a minute. So typical setup, just a hard little split release. He's kind of just doing a little 1-2 choppy steps. He gets underneath. This defender is opened up and funneling him there, okay? There's no real help coming yet. So he knows that he can just flip his feet and let it go. Now look at his weight shift that's happening. Let me move this out of the way so I can talk about this better. When you see his feet, look at how he transfers his weight. So left foot, he plants this right foot into the ground, left foot into the ground, and then he starts to flip. And now he's driving that right toe into the ground so he can shift his weight faster. And look, his weight is shifted entirely onto that left leg. And now you see his hands start to come through. Okay. And that's going to create that framework of driving, okay, and flipping your hips, getting the weight loaded on the back leg, shifting it properly, and then letting the hands come through. That's going to give you the fundamentals, the muscle memory to consistently hit corners. So this is something that you really want to focus on when you're working on your stop and pop shooting or just shooting in general, is how that weight shift is taking place and then when your hands are releasing afterwards, right? You can see that follow through. I mean, that's pretty good to me. So how are little ways that, the big thing here is I want to talk to you guys constantly about these concepts and what we're doing, right? The big thing here, though, is how do we work on this on our own, because we can't simulate pressure, right? We can't simulate pressure, but what we can do is, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. There we go. We're going to remove that. I'm going to share screen. A lot of moving parts back here. Okay. What you can do is you can put pressure on yourself naturally by, is this going to come up? Try this again. Okay. Screen is not sharing. So let me just talk through this then. So one of the best things that you can do to work through this on your own is simply stopping and popping. So actually practicing the mechanics of that hip flip. And all you would do to practice that is you could start by having your toes pointed directly at the net when you're shooting. And then you could just practice jumping, landing, practicing that weight shift and that release, and then just getting into your normal shooting stroke from there. After you work on that a couple times, then you can start to take some steps down into the shot, right? So now we can get some little, a little run into this and have to flip our feet and shoot it. Once that starts to become comfortable, then we can start to work on carrying above and up and over, like that initial first clip that we worked on. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. No, I can't pull it up. Technical difficulty. Sorry. We can work on that original kind of carry over the top, get a nice shot, and then afterwards we can practice dragging underneath like that Joey Spallina shot and just incorporating that footwork and starting to flip our feet a little bit more. So as far as like the stop and pop shot and what you're really looking to work on here, you should just constantly be looking to get your hands free in space and then firing the ball, right? And so our weight shift is directly going to affect how our hands snap and follow through. So with that being said, that's the end of our little presentation on stop and pop shooting. This will be posted onto my YouTube account. I'm at the Box Lacrosse Guy there as well, and you will be able to view this one again. I'm really excited about doing these. I'm looking to provide a little more detail in each of these, and I'm playing a lot with the technology and how we do this. So really excited for everybody who is in here with me. Thank you for joining. I'm looking forward to doing more of these. We'll talk to you guys soon. Later. Okay.